A wall of white consumed the forest. Snow howled through the trees, erasing sound shape everything. In the heart of the blizzard, a ghost moved slowly through the storm. An albino tigress, her once magnificent white coat now crusted with ice, staggered forward with the last of her strength. Pressed against her belly were two newborn cubs. They were barely breathing. Each step was agony, her muscles burned, her vision blurred. She had hunted these mountains for years, ruled them with quiet power, but now she was losing, the storm was winning. And if she fell, her cubs would freeze within minutes. Then she smelled something strange. Smoke. Wood. Shelter. At the edge of the forest stood a small cabin, almost buried by snow. The tigress dragged herself toward it, collapsing just inches from the door. With the last strength left in her body, she nudged her cubs closer and waited for the darkness to take her. Inside the cabin, veteran ranger Alex Carter froze when he saw her through the window. A tiger, an albino. His hand went to the door bolt. Every rule he'd ever learned told him to stay inside. This was nature's law: interfere, and you die. But then he saw the cubs, tiny, motionless, helpless, and when the tigress lifted her head and met his eyes, there was no rage in them, only exhaustion and a silent plea. Alex made the hardest decision of his life. He unbolted the door. The storm screamed as cold air flooded the cabin. Alex grabbed thick wool blankets and stepped outside, heart pounding. The tigress didn't move. She didn't even growl. He gently wrapped the cubs first, carrying them inside and placing them near the fireplace. They were so light it terrified him. Then he returned for the impossible task. The mother. Grunting and slipping in the snow, Alex dragged her massive body across the threshold and slammed the door shut. Silence followed, broken only by fire crackling and his own shaking breath. All night Alex worked. He massaged frozen limbs, fed the cubs drops of warm milk, watched the tigress lie still, certain she was already gone. Just before dawn, a paw twitched. Then an ear. Then pale blue eyes opened. Alex held his breath. She didn't attack. She looked at her cubs, then at him. And something ancient and unspoken passed between them. Over the next few days, the blizzard faded. The tigress, whom Alex quietly called Luna, grew stronger. She never showed aggression. She allowed him to care for her cubs, watching every move with calm intensity. It was a fragile truce. Trust where fear should have lived. Then disaster struck. While gathering firewood outside, Alex heard a deep, thunderous roar. He looked up just as the mountain collapsed, an avalanche. Snow slammed into him, burying him alive. His leg twisted. Pain exploded through his body. He couldn't move. The cold crept in fast. Alone. Trapped. Dying. Then vibration. Digging. Powerful, frantic digging. Snow cleared from his face, and Alex stared into two familiar pale blue eyes. Luna. She dug relentlessly, shielding him with her own body until rescuers arrived hours later. They found a sight none of them would ever forget. An albino tigress protecting a human, her cubs standing watch. Months later, after Alex recovered, he returned to the cabin. It was empty, quiet. Then one morning, on a distant ridge, he saw white. Luna stood tall, her cubs grown at her side. She looked toward the cabin for a long moment, then turned back to the wild. Some bonds are forged in fire, others in ice. And neither are ever broken.